We found new music with Grant Owens. My name is Chris Jobe, and this is Garden.
The curtains fall with and rolls. She wanders in my dreams. She's intertwined within my mind. She keeps me in between, knitting with the love I have, but throwing it away. 'Cause what she is fantasy. I use it to escape, letting go of her goals. Even when our love comes calling, promise that I won't keep falling. Bury her into a garden, yeah. Even when we both start fighting, promise that I won't keep trying. Dig up bones inside our garden. Our love is a full blown baby, growing past what dies, letting go of memories of past loves and past lives. I was young, she was the drug injected in my heart. She told me about the man she loved, I couldn't get it right. I'm letting go of her ghost. Even when our love comes calling, promise that I won't keep falling. Bury her into a garden, yeah. Even when we both start fighting, promise that I won't keep trying. Dig up bones inside our garden. Our love is in full-blown baby, growing past what dies, letting go of memories of past loves and past lives. Hey, yeah. Oh. Even when our love comes calling, yeah. Bury her into a garden.
We found new music with Grant Owens. I'm Chris Jobe, and this song is called Dying in My Dreams.
I've been dying in my dreams again. Think about you when I wake up. I've been dying while you sleep again. I don't think about you till I wake up. I don't want to do you wrong. I don't want to kill you softly, love. Wasn't meant to be a little battle cry, but I twist my knife when I apologize every time. You wonder when it'll be all over, when you think you'll be enough to make me sober. I don't think I have to spell it out. It's not you, it's me that gets me down, down. I've been dying in my dreams again. Think about you when I wake up. I've been dying while you sleep again. I don't think about you till I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to go to heaven either. Realize that I did it wrong. You were the one all along. Yeah, baby. Clear the countertops of the spirits. When the tears drop, I can hear it. stuff to get. My life is stake, I'll remember that. I've been there in my dreams again. I think about you when I wake up.
Hey guys, Grant Owens here for another installment of the We Found a Music radio show at Dash Radio. We're joined by our friend Chris Jobe.
What's up?
And he's just played 2 tracks for us. Let's start with those tracks that you played. Are they out, and what are they about?
For sure. So the first one I did was Garden. Garden is not out. It comes out on September 9th. We changed that date 3 times because I produced this record. I produced everything on the LP that'll be coming out in October. And I mixed everything, and then I had one song that was having trouble. I had a guy that did the Dreamer Boy stuff produced and mixed it, and then had him remix everything. And that song, Garden in particular, is about romantic homicide.
Oh.
It's basically in efforts to prove to my girlfriend that I don't have any feelings for my ex. I metaphorically murder her and then bury her in my girlfriend and I's garden. And things have been going pretty well.
Wow. All right. I don't know if I was ready for that, but that's what it's about, guys. And how about the other one?
And then Dying in My Dreams is kind of like a deeper cut from the LP. It's more of a ballad. That's something, sorry, Guardian I wrote with Brandon Rosenfeld, and then this one I actually wrote solo. And that one is really about kind of like holding yourself accountable for some toxic traits in a relationship and doing certain things in spite of the person that you love, and then like really regretting it when you wake up, and kind of putting it into context of like having a nightmare about dying and then waking up and being like, wow, you're actually incredibly important to me.
Interesting.
And I need to stop messing up.
Dude, we've all had the nightmares.
Yeah.
I think we're in a whole different universe during those nightmares.
Yep, I believe it.
So Chris, how did you get into music?
So I got into music like just naturally. My parents were both very creative people. My dad was like a metal singer in the 80s in New Mexico, and my mom was an art teacher. And in the house, they just played a bunch of different music. My dad was super into Alice in Chains. My mom was super into Jeff Buckley and Coldplay, like Parachutes and Gorillaz and a bunch of stuff. My dad was very rocky. Mm-hmm. And when my family went through a ton of like, different traumas, divorce, and my father went to prison and things of that nature, I would just listen to music as like my outlet and like my way to like really deal with stuff, because I kind of lived in a very heavily wooded area without like a lot of people around, so I didn't have like the cul-de-sac homies. Okay. I had like Alicia Keys' songs in A minor, and that's what I would listen to on the way to visiting my dad. There's certain things like that. And then I got a guitar from my dad for my 6th grade birthday.
Okay, so you would say like some of the people you just mentioned are your influences?
Definitely, and the Chili Peppers should be in there, and there's definitely some more contemporary ones. I think Post Malone is just like insane, and especially the early stuff. I like his more folky things that he does.
Okay.
But yeah, those are definitely all big influences for
That's
me.
cool. That's kind of all over the place style-wise. So do you kind of see yourself like your music kind of jumps around in different styles sometimes, or
it does?
is it usually
I think
specific stuff?
Yeah, I think there's a bunch of different like waves. Right now, this LP I'm putting out is kind of more, I think, cohesive sound-wise. But in the past, like if you look at my catalog and you go on Spotify and stuff, it is just a cluster. Am I allowed to curse?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a clusterfuck of like just different things. And I think it's just because I've been doing this, putting stuff on Spotify at least since I was 21, and I'm 28 now, and there's just a lot of different versions of me. Like I've changed dramatically. Of course. So I think this new wave of music is way more cohesive. It's way more branded to a unique sound that I don't think anyone else really has, at least right now. But before, it's all over the place. If you go through my top songs on Spotify, you're like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on?
Do you ever write about your upbringing and your unique family situation with your dad? And, have you ever written a song about his prison situation and stuff?
I just did for the first time the other day. I think when I used to be signed out of the company out of Nashville, and they were historically country. They like managed Blake Shelton, and they had Kelly Clarkson. And so it was very commercial music.
Okay, yeah.
And so I, before that, was doing indie rock stuff in an indie rock band. Then I started doing solo stuff and with them. And my songwriting brain changed from like, what am I feeling to like, what will work?
Yeah.
And now I'm like really going the opposite. And I was like, you know what? I've been unpacking stuff. I've been doing therapy like most of us. And like, I need to talk about this stuff and really own it. And sometimes I just don't want to like, you know, dig up those bones and really like have to embrace it. But literally 2 or 3 days ago, I wrote a song called Feels Like Home.
Okay.
And I have another song called Hold Me that I've never done anything with, but those things might come out because they're kind of more in this vein.
It's interesting. You know, like a country song could definitely be about those struggles too.
100%. For sure.
Could be about jail. It could be anything.
Yeah. The Blake Shelton style of country that they're doing is more like, her lips taste like sangria. Like, that's the vibe. And so, yeah.
Okay,
there wasn't
yeah,
a whole
that's
lot of
a
room
different vibe.
Not a whole lot of room for being like
Yeah.
super emotional and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, because we all go through the struggles. And sometimes it's cool to write about it.
Absolutely. No, it's super important to write about.
So the new LP coming out, or is out?
Coming out.
I guess kind of talk about the process of putting that together.
So I started that probably this time last year. So yeah, like August 21. Right before that, I had a really big mental break and psychosis from a mushroom trip that I did that lasted 2 weeks. Was in a mental hospital. My dad flew out. Family was very concerned, and it rocked my world. I had a whole body of music ready to go before that. I didn't put any of it out, and I started from scratch. I built a studio out of my garage because I burnt a lot of bridges through the psychosis. Like I literally looked like I don't know how to put it, but like I just looked like a crazy person on the streets. Like I was talking to the trees and which I still talk to the trees, but I was talking to like, you know, I was like yelling at things that are completely inanimate, but having like real full out conversations. And then I was going off on people that never needed that. And some people know, some people don't know now. So I started from scratch, and most of it I did by myself. And then through the last year, I kind of gained some more collaborations. And I went from, instead of trying to make everything like in a bedroom style setting, I built this production studio with some of the skills that I learned when I like built COVID laboratories during COVID because I didn't have a label. And after that, I was like, I want to do organic stuff. So I found a drummer that I knew in high school that's out here. It's a good friend, David O'Connell. Had him play on some stuff. My neighbor, Evan Morris, played keys on a bunch of stuff. I played a bunch of different instruments on it and produced it. Brandon Rosenfeld became a really key collaborator as well. And it was just like a bunch of homies that kind of came in together last minute to really make it happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're pretty open. I respect that. You've obviously gone through something unique. And I mean, how do you rejuvenate yourself creatively?
I like to go surfing. I like to like not do anything. I like to like not do shit. I like to watch Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
you got to balance things out, right?
Yeah, I like to like have some days where I just lie naked.
I think that's probably why I stay up so late sometimes, because you got to unwind and just like do something to reset that brain.
Well, you know, when you're throwing your like showcases and stuff, like you come home, you're like, I can't sleep. I'm wired. Like
100%.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just like goofing around with guitar. But I live in Venice. I live close to the beach, so going to the pier, walk. I have a 78-pound husky shepherd named Bandit, and he's my homie, and we go skating together all the time. I hang out with my girlfriend.
Oh, cool.
We try to keep it low key in Venice.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, you've opened up a lot here. Do you have an embarrassing story you'd like to tell us about?
See, it's a lot harder to talk about that than the real shit sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which one?
Well, you know, you pick.
So middle school was full of a mini. The one that sticks out probably the most was like the first time I had a friend so there was like a bunch of middle schools in the little town that I lived in. There was like 3 or 4. So it was a big school district. It was all public schools. And I had one friend in a different middle school from where I was in, and he was like, there's some cute girls and we gotta hang out with them. And I'm like pubescent Chris, like walking bag of hormones and so excited. And we're gonna go on like a canoe trip down this river, and we're all like in 7th grade, I think. And we get to this rope swing, And like, mind you, I'm like so awkward, and I had like a mop of hair, which looking back was like kind of Jimmy Page-esque, which was tight, but like it was not groomed. My feet probably looked awful. I wasn't on pedicures until recently, honestly. And so I was just like this awkward looking kid, kind of grungy. And so I'm trying to impress these girls, and like, there's a rope swing. Who wants to go off the rope swing? I'm like, I got the rope swing. And I climb up the cliff, and I, take a running start, jump onto the rope, and I swing out. And instead of like launching myself off the rope swing, I kind of like let go but hold on. And not only did it like tear my hands apart, it just went straight down my balls. And you could see that my legs were like up in the air like a flying V, and the rope is just on my balls.
Okay.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And everyone, it was so embarrassing and so painful at the same time.
Yeah.
And like all the guys were like, dude, and the girls were like, oh, and like they were like, are you okay? And I like was like, yeah, I'm good. And I was like, oh my.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
It was not a vibe.
But you learned from it. And yeah, man, I feel like they all just heard the story. That's why they all stopped.
Is that what's
going
on?
You
guys hear me out there?
Yeah, no, I don't think so, but it would be nice.
That would be the second most embarrassing moment.
We got a whole tour group walking by here. They want to hear that story.
They want to know about my. No, never mind. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
You stopped them in the tracks.
Yeah,
you really did.
Yes,
all right, what else is going on here? So I think we mostly dove in there. We have the LP coming up. I do want to hit the point that you have a show coming up.
Yes, with We Found New Music.
September 1st.
Yes,
it's going to be exciting.
Thursday. It's going to be fucking epic.
Thursday, the 1st, leading into the weekends.
Yes.
And you might have somebody out there that might be at the show. She's a huge fan.
I
And
think this chick right here
knows every
she-
word. I don't know if we put that on the camera there. All right, so
I don't know about that.
September 1st.
September 1st, We Found New Music.
Chris Jobe.
Black Rose.
At Black Rose. Also,
good.
new single, Garden. Did you play that?
Garden.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right,
September
cool.
9th.
September 9th is the new single, Garden. He's playing a full band show September 1st, Black Rose in Los Feliz, presented by We Found New Music. Chris Jobe, thank you so much for joining us on We Found New Music.
Thank you, Grant Owens.